It has been often stated that if Obama had sent one half of the force to Benghazi that he sent to the Clive and Bundy Ranch, the 4 Americans that were slaughtered by al-Qaeda on September 12, 2012, Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, Ty Woods, and Glenn Doherty, would still be alive. That Barack Hussein Obama cared more for the supposedly endangered desert tortoise than Americans under attack from our enemies. The nation was shocked when Obama's jackbooted thugs, BLM agents, over 200, surrounded the Clive and Bundy Ranch with sniper rifles, armored vehicles, helicopters, and surveillance and communication equipment rivaling that used by the military. BLM dogs attacked Bundy supporters, including a pregnant woman. Several people were tasered, including Clive and Bundy's son, who dared to videotape the snipers and jackbooted thugs surrounding his family's ranch. The feds even went so far as to shut down the cell phone towers for 3 days so alternative media, the real media, couldn't live stream video that Obama's BLM was engaged in illegal activities. The BLM even set up a so-called First Amendment area where protesters and the Bundy family could voice their opposition to Obama's jackbooted thugs. Where in the Constitution does it say free speech is limited to a few square feet and not the entire United States? It doesn't. Clive and Bundy was the last rancher standing, with the federal government paying 52 ranching families pennies on the dollar to get out. All succumbed to thug tactics, lies about a desert tortoise that the federal government themselves had slaughtered, charging ranchers millions of dollars in so-called grazing and water rights, rights that had been granted to their families generations ago. The Bundy family, not the federal government, dug the cisterns, some 100 years old. The Bundy family built the windmills to pump the water through the water pipes they laid, not the federal government. The Bundy family built the fences, not the federal government. But more importantly, 7 generations of Bundys raised families here, worked long hours, lived and died, and were ultimately buried on this land. It was their land, and nothing, not even the thug-booted Commander-in-Chief Barack Hussein Obama, could push them off. The feds put up their own fence, telling the Bundy family and supporters not to cross it, while the BLM were busy stealing Clive and Bundy's cattle. But the Bundy family and their supporters stood up to tyranny and broke down Obama's fence, armed with the Constitution and a call for freedom. The feds backed down, ran with their tails between their legs. Shortly thereafter, the BLM cattle rustlers returned the cattle they had stolen. America had cheered that the battle for freedom had been won. But the fight for the Bundy Ranch is not over. The war has just begun. This is just the tip of the iceberg on Barack Obama's land grab. Obama has indebted the U.S. to a staggering $17 trillion, projected to be $20 trillion by the end of his term. It is unlikely we will ever pay off our debt, actually in the range of hundreds of trillions of dollars, counting the unfunded liabilities of Medicare and Social Security. And who holds most of this debt? China, of course. And when we get behind on our payments, what will be done? Confiscation of U.S. collateral, our land, and ultimately, our sovereignty. Jerome Corsi, who was the first to expose Obama's phony birth certificate and fictional past, has looked beneath the surface of the land grab in Nevada to show that this is part of a massive confiscation of land, not just in Nevada, but from one coast of the United States to another. Knowing that the U.S. can never repay its debt to China, the Chinese have brokered an agreement with Obama to exchange large swaths of land in the United States called development zones in exchange for the massive debt owed to the Chinese. In October 2009, Obama allowed Chinese energy giant China Offshore Oil Corporation to purchase a staggering 600,000 acres of Texas oil and gas fields. But this was just the beginning. China Offshore Oil Corporation, joined by another Chinese energy giant, Sinopec Corporation, have since purchased over 1 million acres of U.S. land spanning 7 states, most of it for pennies on the dollar. America, we must stand up to Obama and all the other communist traitors that are turning over America to the communist Chinese government. Now, before it is too late.